What's going on, everybody? Anon here, and it's time for This Week in Distro. So, everybody's back at it after the holiday, and we have some interesting things going on. I've done a couple of videos, one-offs, but we'll get the full condensed picture here relatively quickly. So let's start with Magic. So Aether Drift it's interesting, and the reason it's interesting is because there's a lot of folks who don't want it per se. So we ordered this actually a little bit stronger than what we did for Innistrad Remastered on the collector side, just because at some point, what is it, Mox Opal or whatever, Chrome Mox, one of the two of those that they just unbanned. It's going to be one of these sets and it's going to be serialized. Now I don't know if I'm guessing these aren't serialized. These aren't going to be serialized, but with the print runs being astronomically low, we figured we would order. So everybody's open for order probably for the next 2 weeks, and then things are going to close. And what's crazy about the set is, it comes out 3 weeks after Innistrad Remastered, so second week of February, third week of February. So it's coming up pretty close. And these are the standard collector boxes. Magazine exchange a little bit on the high side. And again, for those of you who are new, this is a magazine exchange specials page. This is not a password protected page. It doesn't require an account with them. This is open to anybody, so anybody can go on here, take a look. Now, if you click add item, it'll take you to the login page, so you can't get any further information. But this is a great way, just for the general public who doesn't have access to distribution, just to kind of look at this and say, and see what's going on. So Innistrad Remastered, not a whole heck of a lot there. It's interesting because I kind of expected a whole second wave of spoilers, and we've gotten nothing. So I wonder if they just kind of packed it out on the set and said, you know what, it's kind of a crap set. We're just not going to print any of it or print a whole heck of a lot of it and see what happens. So we'll see. We'll see. Moving on. So this is a little bit of information that I thought was a little surprising. So the Bloomborough Commander decks, these were supposed to ship last week. They haven't shipped yet. And I know some of the people in Discord have mentioned that these are $149.99 on Fortune Fire for pre-order. But these have now shifted to delivery in Q1. So I don't know why they're being delayed. I don't know if it's a component issue. I don't know if I can't imagine it's a print capacity issue because the print runs are down quite a bit. But this is not coming anytime soon, from what we're told last week, because we ordered a couple hundred of these, and quite honestly, we ordered a couple hundred of the. I think it was the Lord of the Rings ones that came out first, and I think we got a fraction of what we ordered. So we went big into these, and obviously these are selling. The 4-pack is selling for $320 or something like that on TCG Player. So to be able to get it to sub 130, the price is going to come down, but it's pretty good value. So same with Commander, or Fallout, and Commander or Modern Horizons 3. So moving on. Foundations, they're still trying to dump all this old stuff and move it out. Not a whole lot to talk about here. You go to the collector boxes. Brothers War, this is creeping up a little bit. This was sub 200 for a while. Now it's up to 220 here, so they're probably getting close to selling out. Commander Masters, this is just, there's so much of this shit. Karlov's up at 180. That was at 150, 160 for a while, and OTJ is still at 189. So it's a dead set. I know some people love it, but there's a lot of it out there. So that's pretty much it on the Magic side. Moving to Pokemon. And before I get into details here, it's a little exciting because late last week we talked to 2 reps at 2 different distributors, and I won't mention their name, but they were both giddy, and in fact they called us. They called us to give us the information we were planning on calling, just to kind of pre-order our Journey Together order, and both independently confirmed that there are booster boxes coming. And the thought is they quote unquote confirm, but not officially, is this going to be temporal forces and surging sparks. And I did a video on this a couple days ago, and to be fair, there are some skeptics, and some of the skeptics are some of the YouTubers who have distro access. And what I tell folks is we're in the Northeast, and the Northeast kind of gets everything first. They get all the information first, and then it kind of trickles out through the rest of the country. And fair or unfair, that's kind of the way it goes. So sometimes we get information that the rest of the country doesn't get, and sometimes we don't. But I think in this instance, just the fact that every single rep is getting hammered for information and product. Yeah, the fact that these guys are just using it as a defense mechanism, saying, "Hey, we have this coming. Stop giving a shit," right? Because I know stores have no product, and if they have no product, they're not making any money. So this is further confirmed by, and I've mentioned this a couple times. The temporal forces quantity on Pokemon Center was over 20,000 booster boxes. Then all of a sudden on the 8th or 9th of January, it showed up at 15,000. So, somebody will probably comment and say, well, they sold 5,000 boxes. They didn't. They shipped it to distribution. It's probably going to come out, not this coming week, but the following week. I would be shocked if there aren't orders that go out. What I didn't expect, and I didn't hear this from Distro, this is just some conjecture, is the Astral Radiance ETBs. There have been 20,000 plus of those on Pokemon Center for a long, long time. And that also all of a sudden adjusted down to 15K. So Pokemon Center said, I want 15,000 units here to sell to my customers. We're going to ship the rest of them out. Now, what I don't know with Astral is if that's also going to distribution. I know over the summer there was a big chunk of Silver Tempest that went to distribution, because I think we bought about 20 or 30 cases, and at that point it was from Matt Al, not one of the bigger distributors. So it'll be interesting to see if that shows up also. But there are boxes coming, and quite honestly, I think it's awesome. I mean, we need Surging, we need Temporal, because quite honestly, Temporal is the one set that probably has the least amount out there. People are going to say we need Twilight. I agree with that. I agree we do. The only set that doesn't need a reprint right now is Stellar Crown, and that's kind of my favorite set, just based on implied value and supply demand. So getting through the rest of this, it's crazy because these guys are pushing the mini portfolios, which I think it's 1 pack per for all the different sets, but at least I have something. Now here's your build and battle boxes, your check lanes. What's interesting is, before we get into the tins, 3 or 4 of the distributors had the dollar store Silver Tempest packs, the ones that are in the little baggies that have the do not open before. It's like November 11th, 2022 for Silver Tempest. So what's now? Anyway, I think it's 2022. Everything runs together at this point. But they're now sold out across the board from all distribution, either sold out or just pulled off the shelves. I think we bought 10 cases, 5 cases, 10 cases, something like that, because it was like $3.15 or $3.25 a pack. So we just thought it was good value for a Sword and Shield set. So those are gone. So kind of the next shoe to drop here, I think, are the tins. So you have the Paldea Partners tins. These are interesting. You can see here they're $6.25. It's about the same. You're paying just over $3 a pack for these. But there's also another one. Sorry, still under the weather here. Paradox Destiny is a little bit newer. Let's see if they have them here. I guess they don't. Is it Paldea Partners? Check and make sure that's not the one I just talked through. And yeah, it's not Paldea Partners, but it came out right around Obsidian Flames. And I know ACD has it, and I think Magazine Exchange has it. It's just behind the login. But it's interesting because they're also $16.25 or whatever. These tins are all the same price for Distro. But what's interesting is it's 2 Obsidian. It's 5 packs, 2 Obsidian, 1 SV base, 1 Stellar Crown, and then I've seen them have Astral Radiance, and I've seen them have Lost Origin. So it's really interesting. So I think we're gonna, from our perspective, we're gonna see what happens here. But we may buy a bunch of the tins, just to rep for packs and start selling the packs. But I do have a question. If anybody here has any idea what to do with the tins, if there's a way to recycle them or not just have to throw them in a dumpster, please message me. I would love to know if there's a way to get a couple pennies off each one of these for the metal, and whether that's even worth it or not. So that being said, there are no open orders yet for Journey Together in Japan. There's no pre-release. We don't have any pricing yet. That's something that, we're not going to go big into. We buy enough for the store, but we'll probably buy, an extra, 20, 30, 40 cases if we can, depending on the price. I'm not getting into it because I have interest, getting into it just because some of our customers want it, quite honestly, and there's just a shortage of products. So it's kind of a nice to have. But Journey Together orders opened this past Friday, and then over the next 2 or 3 days across the rest of the distribution. So we'll see. I mean, what our early indications are, we're told that expect similar to Surging Sparks. They don't anticipate it to be nearly as crazy as Prismatic Evolutions, but I'm a skeptic at nature, so I'll believe it when I see it. So we'll see. And then after that, we'll have Team Rocket, which will be a full set, and then we'll have the 156, the black and white set, which will be the specialty set mid-year. So it's going to be an interesting time, and I think as I mentioned before, you guys think the hype's crazy now. Wait till we get to year end, going into February 2026 for the 30th anniversary. I assure you, it's going to be exactly the opposite of what Magic did with their 30th anniversary. The hype is just going to continue to grow. So anyway, guys, that's what's going on this week in Distro. Subscribe to the channel, like and join the Discord. Have a good night.